All I wanted was a quiet weekend camping by the lake I inherited from my grandfather. Instead, I got accused of trespassing on my own land by a woman who had no clue she just exposed an entire HOA's illegal use of private property. My name's Daniel Brooks. I'm 38, an architect by trade, outdoorsman by passion. A few months ago, I inherited a secluded 10-acre lake and surrounding woods from my grandfather, who'd owned the property since the 60s. It's about 2 miles from the nearest subdivision, Maple Ridge Estates, your typical HOA-run utopia with identical houses and nosy neighbors. I had just finished clearing a spot near the water for a fire pit. The sun was setting, casting golden light across the still surface of the lake. I had my tent pitched, my kayak at the shoreline, and a rack of ribs smoking slowly over the coals. That's when I heard the crunch of tires on gravel. A white BMW screeched to a stop behind my truck. A woman in tennis whites, about 55, with a perfectly stiff blonde bob and an HOA badge on a lanyard around her neck, stormed out. "Excuse me, this is private lakefront property. You can't camp here." I blinked. Ma'am, this is my property." "No, it's community land. We've had access for years. I'm the HOA vice president. You need to leave before I call the police." "I'd love to see how that works out," I replied, pulling out the property deed I always carry. "This land has belonged to the Brooks family since 1963. You're standing on my soil." She didn't even look at it. Instead, she pulled out her phone and dialed 911. "Hello, yes. I'd like to report a trespasser at the Maple Ridge Community Lake. He's refusing to leave. He has a fire going, possibly armed." That last part made me freeze. Possibly armed. Now I had to assume officers would arrive on edge. Sure enough, 2 sheriff's deputies showed up 10 minutes later, lights flashing. I calmly showed them my ID and the deed. One of them, Deputy Herrera, examined the documents carefully, then pulled out a county parcel map on his tablet. His eyebrows went up. "Ma'am," he said slowly, turning to the woman, "this lake and the surrounding land are entirely owned by Mr. Brooks. You and your HOA have no rights here." Karen, I later learned her name was Karen, looked dumbfounded. But we've had lake access since the subdivision was built. We fish here, kayak, host our summer barbecues." Deputy Herrera tilted the screen so she could see it. "None of that is legal. Looks like your community has been trespassing for years." Her face turned ghost white. I wasn't smug, not yet. "Has your HOA been maintaining trails back here?" I asked. "Built a dock on the south end? Maybe installed a sign that says, 'Maple Ridge residents only'?" She blinked rapidly. "Yes, but it was always part of our common use area." "Which doesn't extend beyond your property line," Deputy Herrera cut in. "You'll need to cease all activity on Mr. Brooks's land immediately." Karen tried to backpedal, offered to negotiate an arrangement, even said I could join the HOA. I laughed. "No thanks. But you and your HOA are going to remove everything you've built here. Trails, signs, benches. You have 30 days. After that, I'll file civil charges." I could tell she hated every second of it. The next week, I got a visit from the HOA's lawyer. They tried to claim adverse possession, that using the land for so many years gave them legal rights. But my grandfather had posted clear private property signs for decades, and I had photo evidence. That shut them down fast. Turns out they knew all along. The original subdivision plat even had the lake marked as outside HOA boundaries. But somewhere along the way, the board just started using it and pretending it was theirs. Classic entitled HOA behavior. In the end, they spent nearly $12,000 removing structures and cleaning up the shoreline. I posted new signs, added cameras, and installed a locked gate at the only access trail from the neighborhood. And as for me, I still camp there most weekends. The lake's peaceful again. No more kids cannonballing at dawn. No more HOA barbecues with off-key karaoke. Just me, the firelight, and the soft splash of fish breaking the surface. Sometimes owning land isn't just about property. It's about putting people like Karen back in their place.